rags to riches, right?
Yeah, so we've got another top 5 list for you today.
These are... Welcome to the closing table with the Money Guys, Sidney Young and Jared Parrish. This episode is being brought to you by Allura Financial, AlluraFinancial.com, your source for real estate investment funding. Now, presenting the Money Guys. All right. Hey, welcome to Money Guys, the closing table. My name's Sidney Young.
And Jared Parrish.
We're the Money Guys. You know why? Because we got your money. Man, it is Thursday. It's downtown Houston, Texas. Even though we do deals, Allura Financial does deals nationwide. We happen to be located in downtown Houston. Pretty day outside.
It's nice. The weather was actually pretty nice.
It wasn't cold, but it's cooler.
It is cooler. I
know?
think the humidity dropped a little bit.
So, the who?
Humidity.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't mad at all.
The humidity.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at all. No, it was good. Now, we like to talk about money, don't we?
Yes, that's why we're the Money Guys.
We're the Money Guys. We've had a pretty active morning. We had an investor meeting
very
this
busy
morning.
Yeah.
We wholesale properties too, along with funding properties. We got a wholesale deal in, which we already sent out to our prospective buyer.
Yep.
And that's how you do it, man. That's the day you're putting ink on that paper to have it sold the exact same before you even ink the paper to have it sold. That's how you do it.
It's a quick process.
Yeah.
Very quick process. So you got to act fast.
You got to act fast, man.
It almost sounds like an infomercial. But wait, there's more. If you act now.
If you call now, we'll ink your paper for free for 3 easy payments of paper. Oh, no.
Yeah, for an extra $19.95.
Before we go into the focus of today's show, I want to talk about wholesaling real quick. Because, man, we primarily do properties just in the greater Houston area because our investors like to put their hands on it, feel it, touch it, everything else. And most of our investors that buy like that from us are located here in Houston. So I guess you can say we have an accumulation of people with a lot of money that are just waiting for deals right now, right?
Yeah, we've got tons. I mean, we've told a few people we've got a feeding frenzy.
We do, man. We have investors call us up and say, "Hey, man, do you have a deal today? You get a deal in today?" I said, "Dude, I just got here. It's like 10 after 9, man. Give me a minute, But so we get deals in, and so we got a deal in. It's a deal where a family had a death, and they're looking to do something at home. We made them an offer, and it looks like it's going to go through.
Yeah.
So we meet. What we do as soon as we got the number cleared up. What we do? Called one of our first buyers.
Yeah, called our investor.
Called the first guy. He said, "Here's the deal." He said, "I'll do it." So that's how quick it went, man. And that's an easy chunk of change made in a matter of minutes.
Yeah,
that's how you want to wholesale. But you know what makes the key to wholesale? We got something a little different than the guy sitting at home. And the guy sitting at home may have it. We have these hungry buyers that we've already vetted. I mean, our guys, we know how much money they got, or we got a general idea. We may be wrong.
Yeah.
but we know
Which
how much.
Happens.
Yeah, it happens. They're not tire kickers. They're not guys that are taking the contract and sending it to another wholesaler. They're actual guys bringing money to the table.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference. But one of the keys with all of this, I mean, with whatever business you're going to be in, you have to keep trying. You have to
persistence.
Persistence. That's the key, and that's the whole basis of today's show.
Man, let me tell you, we spend our time on the phone all day long going through deals all around the country, getting to a closing table for fix and flips, buy and holds, cash out refis. We get some strange deals too, but that's majority of our time. So we do a wholesale deal. It's almost like someone knocked the door and said, hey, here's some money. You want it? It's just extra money coming in.
Yeah.
So you in your life, I don't know, maybe you are a painter, maybe you're a contractor, maybe you're a businessman. Wouldn't you like to have someone knock your door now and say, hey, you want some money?
Right. Yeah. No, so with as much time as we spend on the phone, because, I mean, we're on the phone all day, every day, with whether it be with banks, with investors, with realtors, with whomever involved in this. Do you ever get so many phone calls throughout the day that when you leave work and you've got friends or family call you, you don't want to be on the phone.
But
because I think there's a lot of people listening now that have that same issue. That they took 50, 60, 70 phone calls in a day, and now it's just their best friend calls them just wanting to chit chat. It's like, man, I really don't want to.
Dude, if you've ever driven in Houston, Texas at 5 p.m. from downtown on I-45 North, you need some relaxing music because it is like a war zone out there, man. You know, it is traffic in Houston, the way people drive, road rage. It's
That's
tense.
like my trip in, man. Here I am. I'm making great time coming in. You know, ever since COVID really hit, you know, the traffic on 45 hasn't been all that bad. But here I am coming in. I'm passing University of Houston, and then I'm just whipping them around people. So many people, for some reason, 45 is the name of the freeway. That's not the speed limit. I don't think people really get that. Here I am hooking around. I'm probably going a good 70 miles an hour. Then all of a sudden, here comes a taco truck. Gets on 45. Goes
Does it
about
smell good?
35. No, it didn't. And it's just like, just killed the traffic. I mean, yeah,
Dude,
I can go on a rant on that one.
Okay, we're going to talk about today's focus, which is rags to riches, right?
Yeah, so we've got another top 5 list for you today.
These are people that have done what?
These people went from nothing to rich.
And stayed rich.
Stayed rich. Now, yeah, they're top 5. Well, at least our 5. There's a lot of rags to riches stories out there. And combing through them, there was a reason that I put this particular top 5 together, because it wasn't easy. Now, success is not easy, but these really highlight.
And everyone knows someone in their world that went from rags to riches.
Yeah.
I know several.
Now, Steve Harvey talked about this one time, and I love the fact that he brought this up. There was one little speech that he gave about your parachute opening up, and that motivated me to start my own business and go out on my own.
You sold parachutes? Huh? How many?
No. He says
They got to open.
Yeah, right.
Or money back guarantee.
The way Steve Harvey said it, he goes, "You stand on the cliff of life."
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
and you see all these people flying.
Yeah.
He goes, "You have to jump at some point." He goes, "Now, when you jump, your parachute's not always going to open."
Yeah.
He says, "You may fall in the rocks below, but you have to pick yourself back up and get back up, and you have to jump again."
It's okay. It's just a broken rib and a leg. I'm good.
Right? And he says, "But as long as you keep trying, your parachute's eventually going to open."
Yeah.
Because you're going to be flying with the rest of them. He says, the problem is so many people will look at successful people and they only see the success. They don't see the times that they failed, the times where they hit the rocks, the times where they were living out of their car. And they just see, man, that guy got lucky. He just had a good idea and just hit it off. They don't see all of the work that went into it and all the struggles that they went through. And so I picked 5 people today, and to really highlight what perseverance and persistence and how valuable that is when you're trying to create your own
Dude,
success.
you know what, though? You said something. Sometimes, maybe I'm naive, I honestly think luck sometimes plays in a lot of people's success.
Luck does play a lot of success.
You know?
But so do the failures. Some people's
Oh, yeah.
success is because they failed so many times. If it came to them so easily, they wouldn't have pushed so hard and reached the level of success that
You know
they
what a lot
have.
of it is? If you've never tasted the steak, so to speak, that level of success, where you never don't look at prices, you just swipe the card, and you finally taste that success, and then whatever happens in life, you lose it. You will go to your grave getting back to that area again.
I'm going to give you an example. So when I first started in sales, when I was 16,
1932.
I worked for a jewelry store.
Yeah. How much
And-
jewelry you steal?
None.
Oh, okay.
None.
I thought he was going to confess. Never mind.
None that they'll ever know. And part of the training is if someone's looking at a piece of jewelry, you hand it to them, but then you pull it back away.
What do you
mean?
mean?
As they're reaching for it, you pull it back away.
That's rude.
You know what it does?
What?
Psychologically, it makes them want it more because now they want to reach out and grab it from you.
Or slap you.
Yeah, they didn't slap me.
You're a big guy. That's probably why they
But
did
that's
it. Me,
where-
they would have beat up.
That's where failure really does come in because
Yeah.
when you failed a few times,
Yeah.
some people get discouraged and other people want it even more.
You know what's is you and I, me and you have a very similar story. What is got us to the level we are now or today, whatever you want to call it, is we failed and we went to the 9-to-5 chain and we realized I can't live life like
No.
this. I
Yeah.
can't do this.
Yeah, you and I have both done that,
Yeah.
and I'm at the point now to where, and I've told you this plenty of times, I would prefer the stress of what I have now versus a 9-to-5 any day.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of the income.
Even my stupidity all day long.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, see, that ain't too bad.
Sometimes that's tough to deal with, but hey, you know what? We persevere.
Okay, so these are 5 people who have gone from rags to riches, and are still with us.
Yeah. So the first one that I want to talk about, there's only one out of the list that's real estate. And I know the whole idea with this show is, we're talking to people who are in real estate, whether it be real estate investors, whether people that work at title companies, whether it be realtors, whomever that works in there. So there's only one of them on here that's real estate invested. But I did kind of want to go outside of the realms of that. The first one that we'll talk about, his name's Peter Daniels.
Never heard of him.
Peter Daniels is Australian. Now, he got the bug that he wanted to be successful. When he was a kid, he was a janitor. After he graduated high school. Yeah, he was a janitor.
Jeez.
But even worse than that, when he was in school,
Yeah.
his teachers kept telling him that he was a loser. He wouldn't add
His
up.
teachers told me that?
His teachers told him that.
Man, where'd he go to school? North Side? That's where I was at.
He's the South Side.
South Side.
Now, but in Australia, yeah, I mean, because he wasn't the best student there was.
Yeah.
And his teachers kept telling him, because you're going to be worthless if you don't work harder on your studies, you're going to be worthless, and kept telling him that.
Mom
so
tell
he
me I'm
believed
gonna be
that.
a dumbass.
He believed that. And he had a few motivational stories along his way. He saw some other people that were successful, and he got into real estate.
Oh.
And he's written multiple books. One of them was basically an FU to his teacher. It said, like, I forget the name of the book, but it was something like, Miss Mary, you were wrong.
But what did he do, though?
Got into real estate, started small.
Wholesaling? Buying properties?
Well, I mean, his story just says that he got into real estate. So, yes, buying small properties, and then with the little money that he had, buy something small. Go ahead and sell that. He'd recoup the money, then go ahead and get something bigger. Arnold Schwarzenegger did the same thing, too.
Yeah.
Because when he was just starting out in the United States, working on Mr. Universe and then Mr. Olympia, he was working a construction job. And he took a little bit of money that he had, and he would buy small properties and flip them up. And then eventually to the point where he was flipping office buildings. And
He's pretty strong. He could do that.
yeah, flip them right on his head. So anyway, Peter Daniels today, after all of the real estate that he did, he owns blocks that he used to walk when he was a kid, when he used to get in fights with. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And now today he is worth $3 billion.
$3 billion.
Yes. Now we're talking about a guy who started out after school being a janitor,
Wow.
and now he is worth $3 billion.
Wow, that's pretty inspirational. And, I mean, what does he do today to maintain his organization? Do you know?
I mean, he still has a real estate investment company, so he's still a real estate investor, and he's an author, so he's still writing books as well.
And what's his name again?
Peter Daniels.
Peter Daniels. Mm-hmm. We salute you, my friend.
So I think at this point we're going to go to
We're going to take a commercial break.
Defunct commercial break.
Another defunct. Da-dum-bum-bum-bum. These are commercials that are business that have defunct.
Gone down.
Because we want to eventually replace these defunct commercials with business that are unfunked. Is that a word?
Defunct.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You really flip your lid. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz! I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy, I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
All right. Welcome back. That was the defunct Toys Are No Longer Us. I want my place set. I'm sorry, Johnny. It went out of business.
I remember when I was a kid going. I guess we're all still Toys R Us kids at heart.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're talking about again, remember?
So Peter Daniels was the first one that we talked about.
Rags
so that's
to
gonna
riches.
Be Rags to Riches, and how failure is actually a big part of people's success.
Yeah.
So just because you've gone out and you've tried your own business before and it may have failed doesn't mean that you're a failure. You only failed when you quit trying.
That's right. You should do your Robin Leach voice during this thing.
Next on the list.
Next on the list.
So the next on the list I wanted to talk about is John Grisham.
I've heard the name.
He's an author.
He's an author. Yeah.
He's an
Okay,
author.
yeah.
So John Grisham, his first novel was A Time to Kill, which they did turn
The
into-
Mockingbird.
No, not the Mockingbird. It's just called A Time,
Canary?
Time to Kill.
No.
So in when he wrote that book, he was rejected by 50 publishers and 30 agents.
He had pictures in it? What happened?
nobody liked the book.
Oh.
And a lot of people, once they've been rejected by 50 publishers, 30 agents. Now we're talking agents that are going to go out and
And
sell
this is
it.
probably before email, so when you open your mailbox, you got all those, oh, God, reject.
Yeah, no, he sent it out to everyone. Now, like I said, rejected by 50 publishers, 30 agents.
Jeez.
And guess how many copies he sold of his first novel, A Time to Kill?
How many?
60 million copies.
You're kidding me.
No, New York Times bestseller.
Really? 60 million?
60
What does
million.
what does an author make on something like that?
Man, I really don't know. I mean,
$1 a book?
It's got to be a lot.
I mean, okay, let's say you made $1 a book. That's a lot of money.
$60 million.
All you did was sit there in front of the typewriter, use your brain, and put some words together.
You make it sound so simple.
Come on. Oh, what makes this guy so special, huh?
Right? Now, and he's gone on to
he's done
write
a lot
a
of
number of books.
Yeah.
And I don't have his net worth in front of me, but I mean, everyone knows John Grisham's name. I mean, he's had movies.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of novels. The guy's doing great.
And think, he just sat back, relax in his brain, come up with creative ideas, and boom.
Yeah. So the next one on the list, a lot of people also know, Michael Jordan.
Oh, man. Have you ever seen the documentaries on the way he spends money?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my God. Go to YouTube, put in Michael Jordan spending habits or money. I was bored one time and did that. He, rents out planes, the best cigar. I think he smoked on it. I guess when you're Michael Jordan, I guess you can. But he when you have that level of success, I guess your general idea for money changes as far as how you spend it, because
I would think
outrageous.
so. I would think so. I mean, the cost of things is kind of relative. If you've got hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars,
Okay, and
spending $50 to $100 on a cigar, it's just,
you're selling a number 2 pencil to Michael Jordan. It's no longer 2 cents; it's $200. I mean, incredible.
So the story with Michael Jordan, he grew up modest. Okay?
Yeah.
He grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And he didn't grow up, lavish lifestyle, the lavish lifestyle
Right,
that he has
right.
now. And in an interview, he said that I've missed 9,000 shots. I've lost over 300 games.
Wow.
He goes, there were 26 times where I was given the ball to make the winning shot, and I missed it. He goes, and it was because of those failures that I've succeeded today.
Wow.
So he even credits his failures
Wow.
to what he has today. So, not only has he been successful with just basketball alone, but he's invested in multiple businesses. He had his cologne. He's had his own shoes.
Dude, but
everybody knows Jordan shoes.
Dude, I got to ask, so not to be negative in this situation, what happened to his dad?
I have no idea.
Come on, his dad pulled over in a rest area and he ended up getting capped in the head.
I didn't know that. I didn't
that was years ago.
Yeah, no, I didn't read
Years ago. Now, I've seen the stories. They said his dad had a gambling issue or something like that, and he was being followed by someone he owed money. But he'd been up all night or something and went on a trip to Vegas, I think, pulled over to rest, and someone capped him in the head several years ago.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So Michael's gone through a lot of tragedy as well.
But over all of his successes, growing up with modest living, I think that's fair way to describe it. Guess what his net worth is today?
Oh, I'm going to say $2 billion.
1.6 billion.
Pretty close.
1.6 billion.
1.6 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Think about that.
With as much as he plays golf, being worth 1.6 billion, you can play all the golf you want.
Dude, you could buy. He probably does own a golf course.
Yeah. I would imagine he does.
Michael Jordan. Hey, salutes to Michael Jordan.
Yes, you got that. Next one on my list is you may not be familiar with the name. You'll definitely be familiar with the company. His name is Howard Schultz.
Never heard of him.
Really?
Yeah.
So he had a business idea.
Yeah.
Okay. And he shopped this around to 217 investors.
They all said.
All of them said no. They all said, and but finally he got to someone who did support him. If he would have given up after 200 times, which a lot of people would have,
oh hell yeah, way before that,
there would be no Starbucks today.
So what Uncle Howie do? Oh, Starbucks. Uncle Howie started Starbucks.
Yes, Uncle Howie started Starbucks.
Hey man, I got a great idea. will charge $5 for a cup of coffee, put them all around the country, and people would just drive them
Well, I mean,
crazy.
think about it. If a guy came up to you now, let's remove Starbucks and all of the different coffee shops that we have now. Because think about it. 15, 20 years ago, for one, there was no Starbucks.
Yeah.
But who the hell would have thought to spend $6 on a cup of coffee?
Yeah. Hey, well, okay.
But
Jared,
let's say I came up to you and I said, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about starting a coffee shop, but I'm going to charge $6 for a cup of coffee." You would have told me, "Who the hell's going to pay that for coffee?"
Jared, go back to 1980.
Okay.
Okay, and you're a young man with a lot of money, and I come to you and say, Jared, man, I'm thinking about putting water in a plastic container, and we'll sell it at all the stores. Huh? Will you do that?
You mean the water that comes out of the faucet?
No. This be special water. We'll filter it.
But mine is filtered.
Dude, this is special water. I call it Old Marca.
Oh, Mark.
All I need
That's
is
good.
you to give me $1 million.
But sometimes people don't have the same vision
Yeah.
that you do, and they can't see it.
Yeah.
Because they already start to discount, like with this
Example,
one. A lot of people looked at
You're
it.
talking about this. You took notes, right? When you're talking about this,
Yeah.
do me a favor. Write down that little sticky pad you got right there. You made up. Uh huh.
What am I writing down?
Anything. You don't have a sticky pad 'cause I just invented it. That guy.
But yeah,
I
so
like.
he was turned down 217 times, and then finally he did come across an investor that did support him.
Wow.
And now it's grown into what Starbucks is today. Guess what? I'm not talking about the net worth of Starbucks. I'm talking about what Howard Schultz's net.
This dude's got to be. I don't think he's in the best Jeff Bezos level, but he's probably a Bill Gates level.
Not quite. 4.6 billion.
Okay.
Now Starbucks is worth more than that, but I mean him personally is 4.6 billion.
You get by on that.
on coffee. On coffee.
And I'm willing to bet you money he gets free coffee.
You know what? He might have to pay for it. I don't know.
Son of a gun.
Depends on who's running the shop
What kind
that
of
day.
deal is that? Yeah. Geez, that blows my mind, man. The
I know.
simple little ideas that turn into something huge like that.
It's incredible. But like I said, going back to it, you may have an idea, you have a vision. Now going back to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he says this a lot in some of the motivational speeches that he does. He goes, "You have to have a vision. You have to see it. You have to see it in 3D. You have to see it from all angles, 360 degrees around. You have to see how it works and everything. Because if you could visualize it, a lot of people say, if you believe it, you can achieve it. But you really do have to see what vision you want.
Dude,
and
look at
and
Shark
really
Tank.
fight for
All
it.
these people come up with fresh ideas and bring. Some are not fresh. Some you got. Every now and then, there's something that makes you go, "Wow."
Things that make you go,
And you kind of envy that guy. Like, damn, that was a great idea. There are so many things that there's a
little
need
things
for.
too.
Little things. The mask thing.
Have you seen the new? It goes on your keychain, and it's got a little ring for your finger to go in. Then it's got a little hook like that, and it's got a little knob sticks out front. It's these, and right now with COVID, this has been a huge seller in grocery
Oh,
stores.
for the sanitizer.
To open the door, it's got the little
Oh.
hook to push the door closed or push the door open. You got a little push thing on there. It's funny. The only thing it doesn't do is open my beer.
I thought the this is how the way I think. I thought the best investment was the back scratcher.
Yeah, right. Well, is it a back scratcher? Kind of depends on what you're scratching with it.
Hide the kids.
I don't think it would have sold very well if they would have called it a butt scratcher.
The old ass scratcher kid. Okay, who's next on
All
this
right,
here?
so on the number one on here, this is the biggest, the biggest money one, and it's also a pretty interesting story as far as how many failures he had to push through.
Oh, wow.
All right, so I'm probably going to butcher the name of his first name, but I got his last name down. So the first name is Soichiro. He's Japanese. Last name Honda.
Oh, I've heard of his product.
Yeah, you've heard of his product.
They
Now-
were just motorcycles when it first started.
Now, even before that, though, I've got a pretty interesting story. I
Yeah.
like this one. This is why I saved it for the end. Da, 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 da.
Ting.
So, Mr. Honda, because I don't want to butcher his first name anymore, Mr. Honda started out, he devised piston rings that he wanted to sell to Toyota. He
Oh.
designed certain style of piston rings, and he wanted to sell those to Toyota. Now, he went to Toyota, and they turned him down. And went back again. He changed the design. They came back, and they turned him down. He went dozens of times, and they kept turning him down. Okay? Now, he had invested a lot of his life savings into developing this. And then finally, he gets a contract with Toyota.
Really?
He sets up a shop. He's got a small building that he
They
leased.
didn't have them sign non-compete, did they?
No, I don't think so. Get this though. So he gets a building.
Yeah.
He leases that out. He sets up a manufacturing deal. He starts selling to Toyota
The rings.
the rings, the piston rings.
Yeah.
And then World War II hit. Now, what happened in Japan during World War II? Wasn't there like a bomb?
Yeah, thing like flattened everyone.
Flattened his shop.
Oh, his shop went out? Oh,
Yep.
shoot.
So once that went under, now we're talking about a guy who tried so many times, finally got a little piece of success, and then lost it during World War II. And so he was out trying to rebuild his business. He couldn't afford gas in his car.
Oh.
So since he was good with small machines, what he did is he put a little motor on his bicycle, and so this way he could put a little bit of gas in his bicycle, and it would take him back and forth. Then people started telling him, said, "Hey, can you make me one of those?"
That's
And that
pretty
turned
cool.
into the Honda Super Cub.
I like that. And then that eventually led to building cars.
That led him into building to mass produce the Honda Super Cub, and then he started going into to designing cars and manufacturing cars.
What year do you think the first Hondas came to the United States?
If you would have asked me that before I programmed the podcast, then I probably would have found that out for you.
You see, information. Anyway, I need you hold that to me for 1 second, please.
Well, I was going to tell you now, since Soichiro Honda is no longer alive, I was
Bless you.
going to give you the net worth of Honda.
Oh my God, it's got to be huge.
$50.4 billion. So a guy who lost everything twice built a business that's now worth $50.4 billion.
This week's Golden Finger Award goes, let me just point it upward, goes to the guy and gal who quit, who failed and said, I can't do this no more. I won't do this no more. And quit, and quit,
No.
and
The Golden
quit.
Finger Award goes to the quit.
The
That
quit.
goes not to those who quit. It goes to the quit.
To the quit.
That's to the quit.
Yeah, you quit. Oh, anyway. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. We come back. We're going to talk about what's coming up. Don't go away.
Okay?
What?
The 80s called. They want their store back.
It's time for a new Radio Shack. Come see what's possible when we do things together.
All right, we're back. That was the defunct Radio Shack.
Radio Shack.
Radio
If you
Shack.
bought it back then, you can't take it back.
You'll never take it back. Those guys didn't quit. They'll be back. I know they will.
Yeah,
know
they
they will.
just have to change their business a little bit, and I think they can make their way back. You know,
I
with
still
Amazon.
have faith in Toys R Us. I think they're coming back.
I think they might. They might. I just
Dude,
hope they don't sue us for using their commercial.
One day you're going to be driving a Toys R Us car.
I used to.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a new one. Anyway, defunct commercials, because
Defunct
one of
commercials.
these days we're going to have real commercials in there with real businesses that are working
Absolutely.
absolutely great. This has been The Closing Table with the Money Guys. I'm Sidney Young.
And Jared Parrish.
We'll be back here next week. Tune in. We are out of here.